Hi everyone. Um, yeah, yeah. Thanks for joining. And I'm pretty much. Well, today we're going to be responding to Sam Seder and his debate with Destiny. We actually did this like a month ago with Mikail, and he's with us again. Say hi to Mikail.
Hello, everyone. Mikail the Stray Cat here.
Yeah, yeah, and also yeah, we left at the 27-minute mark. And I wish, I mean, like, I think we spent quite a long time like in that stream, and so we weren't able to like go through everything. I remember like at the 27-minute mark something like special was happening, but like I forgot what it was. So you know what, like actually, you know what, let full refresh start at the 26-minute mark, just to like refresh like a little bit. Yes, yeah, start at the 26-minute mark instead.
26. I can do that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be
Close.
fine.
Yeah, there.
Yeah. That'll be fine.
It's just a couple seconds behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just start it.
Okay, so let's get into this.
Which I think is just an incredibly irresponsible thing to do. But then the guy is using it to make himself famous. Like, I can conceive of a situation where a 17 or 18-year-old kid, whatever his age was specifically at that time, and making this huge mistake of judgment. Like, I'm going to go down there with a weapon. I am not in any way trained to deal with this situation, to do crowd control or whatever it is.
Well, that's
But
inaccurate. The weapon
I'm
was
super psyched to
already
do
there
this.
when he got there.
And I can conceive of a kid going down there, killing two people, if you want to say in a completely innocent way, and maiming a third in a completely innocent way. And then after that happens and he gets, exonerated on murder charges, I can see, if this guy then decides like, I'm going to take some time away and do some introspection, and I'm going to, because, you see this all the time. I mean, you can find YouTube videos of people who have killed people either, accidentally. I drunk drove and I hit somebody, or it was dark and I hit somebody and they died, or I punched somebody one time, knocked them out and they were dead. And you see them like deal with the fact that they had taken two lives or a life. And, then I would think, people make mistakes, but the guy's just an asshole. And that's really all I
Okay.
said.
Yeah.
I even
Yeah.
said he
Pretty
was an
much.
asshole,
Stop it.
but
Stop it.
the implication was he's an asshole and he's using.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Other than like just like wanting like to censor like Seder for saying the a whole word. Yeah. Pretty much like, yeah. I think like the problem, or another problem with like Sam Seder is like when you like boil down, when you cut up Sam's point to his core, all that like Sam is really like mad about is that like Kyle was irresponsible, and that he is basically a horrible person for like basically like who are going to like right wing like media figures like uh not leaving the whole Rittenhouse trial behind him. But the thing is, this like Rittenhouse case was a national story, and it was pretty much just like uh he was basically like eaten up by the media vultures, like, and it pretty much like defamed him. Limited like his he couldn't like get like a normal like life. It damaged his like career choices and whatnot. So uh like if he doesn't do this, if he doesn't go to these media figures, like he may not like be able to recover. Like like I don't even agree with like I'm not sure if like Kyle should go to these like right wing figures, but like what choice does he have? Like people like say that people like authorities like organizations like MSNBC have lied at multiple times about him, and that's her like everything through no fault of Kyle's, pretty much.
Yes. As as far as I can tell, it seems that what Sam Seder is really upset about is simply the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse is getting media attention now that this is done. That seems to be what he's upset about. And he claims that Kyle Rittenhouse is doing this to make himself famous. Well, okay. Here's the question: what did you expect after pretty much the whole of the lamestream legacy media dogpiled this kid for how long was it? About a year and a half?
I
Something
believe
like that?
August. I believe August 2020 was like the Kyle Rittenhouse incident. So basically 2 years now.
Yeah, but from the time that the Kenosha incident happened to the conclusion of the trial, somewhere in the ball, I think that was last November, if I remember right.
Maybe October or November.
Yeah, one or the other. So for over a year, they made this kid look. They did everything they could to make this kid a monster in the eyes of the public. I don't think that Kyle Rittenhouse is realistically ever going to be able to live a normal life, whatever normal is these days. But still, I don't think that option is on the table anymore for him because of all of the defamatory and inaccurate claims that were repeated over and over and over again on just about every mainstream legacy media news channel. So, why are you surprised, Sam, is my question to him. How are you surprised by this? Of course, he's going to go to any outlet that is at least willing to hear him out instead of just defaming him.
Pretty much. Resume again.
All right, keep going.
Yeah.
The fact that he killed two people as a sort of mechanism in which to get fame, I think that is. I mean, we talk about what's problematic in our society.
So him trying to get fame, I think, is the natural consequence of how people on the left treat him. If one side is going to cast you as a villain, you can't be surprised when they run to the other side to be cast as a hero. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there and have your life destroyed and then get nothing out of it. I'm not saying his action in right-wing media is good, but given how many people say he killed black people, he was a white nationalist. The guy that called into your show said that he was I think he compared him to Hitler Youth, policing civil rights marches. And I think you said that was a valid point. When he's being cast in that light over and over and over again, I don't think it's very surprising that he's going to run into the arms of people on the right that are going to embrace him as a hero, especially given how much is factually incorrect about what's being stated about him. How many times people say that he killed people in defense of property, which wasn't true. How many times people are willing to downplay the other protesters. You keep mentioning the third guy that was maimed. That guy got maimed running up to Rittenhouse with a Glock that he was going to shoot him with. And I think that the overall issue you have here is this constant downplaying of what was going on in Kenosha, which was a community that has, I think, as high as $50 million of property damage on a small community, $2 million of city property destroyed. There were like over 34.
Why are you bringing up property if he didn't kill those people in the service of protecting property?
What I'm saying is it's a kid that went down.
Okay, stop.
Calling to protect his community.
Okay, stop. All right, so maybe just replay that last 10, 20 seconds.
Okay. Okay, we are at, I'm going to call it 2910. So here we go. I'll just bring it back here.
Yeah.
There we go.
High as $50 million of property damage on a small community, $2 million of city property destroyed. There were like over 34.
Why are you bringing up property if he didn't kill those people in the service of protecting property?
What I'm saying is it's a kid that went down because he probably felt.
Okay, now he may have like originally been there for the defense of property, but his life, that incident, like what once he was there, like that wasn't caused by him defending properly. That was caused by some random guy like going straight after like Kyle Rittenhouse. Like maybe it's because he put out a fire, or the horrors, like the white supremacies of being a fireman. Like
yes, how evil to put out a fire. That part of the story still it gets me. Like, really?
Yeah, like
but wasn't it okay? I think it was Rosenbaum, one of the three Dr. Dumbasses, as I like to call them, who basically drew his sidearm that he had with him on Kyle Rittenhouse, and Kyle Rittenhouse shot him. If I remember correctly, then he fled and was chased down by a mob, beaten down by a dropkick skateboard dude, and they tried to take his rifle, and that's when the other two dudes, got shot. One of them pointed a Glock at his head while Kyle Rittenhouse was laid out on the ground. So, yeah, that he didn't kill these people in defense of property. He killed these people defending himself. I don't see how Sam seems to be missing this. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Continue.
Yeah. Here we go.
A calling to protect his community. And I think given the totality of the action that you saw, all the videos you saw, hold on, wait, let me finish real quick. You just want to hold it. Okay. Lots of videos of him running around, doing the medico, whatever. And we can say he's a dumb kid, he's doing dumb shit, sure. But there was not a single piece of footage anywhere that was released of showing him acting in an aggressive manner towards any person ever. That never got released, ever. And instead, all we have are videos of him moving when being asked, offering water bottles and bandages or whatever to people that are saying things. There's videos that were released weeks before of him cleaning graffiti off his property, I think trying to join some youth police or whatever bullshit. It seems to me, based on everything I've seen, probably just a kid that was concerned about his community. Given that his dad lived there and he was a lifeguard there for some years, that's not the most inconceivable thing ever. So given that his community was literally being destroyed, given that all the videos show him showing up to clean up graffiti, offer water bottles or whatever, showing that all of the provocation that was on video was other people attacking him. And that's what happened over and over and over again. The first shooting only happened after a guy behind the first victim got shot into the air behind him. I don't think it's fair to say that Rittenhouse went there with the goal of being this bloodthirsty murder that was just trying to protect property, waiting to find somebody who was going to start.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't. But this constant phrasing of what he's doing, and then a quote that you use. Well, wait, real quick, because you did a whole ramble. You said 20 things that I disagree with. Just real quick, you use this phrase. I was concerned someone might go in and steal Skittles. That was a phrase he used as well when talking about the destruction that was being wrought on this community. And I think that was my final point, that if you were to, I hate to pull the conservative one here, if you were to reverse the races here, I think that all of the coverage on the left would have been far different. If it was a black person that shot 3 white people that were marching through an all black community, setting fire to it, I think everybody would have been on their high horses defending his right to be in that community and defend their property from white supremacists going through and marching through and burning stuff down.
Okay, so you have a problem with me saying Skittles because that's, I guess, hyperbole.
No, it's not. It's the downplaying constantly of the damage writing was causing, and then making him like a Hitler guy. Yeah.
First off, when that guy IM'd me in that video, it was in response to this guy's conservative media tour. Okay, I am not responsible for the nameless people that you're telling me have spread misinformation. Like I say, I don't watch other shows. I'm responsible for what I did. Now, you, in response, and again, I only know this because somebody just sent this to me a day ago. You said that I would be guzzling buckets of his cum if he was black and they were white.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so now, aside from the issue of whether I would guzzle buckets of cum in any scenario, you're creating a straw man. And listen, because first off, I've been doing this for 18 years, and if there has never been a situation where this has taken place, the reverse scenario you're talking about, that may be instructive, but you would never find me ever celebrating, and particularly a guy who's celebrating the killing of anybody, ever. And
it's not celebrating the killing.
Wait a second, excuse me, you said I would be guzzling buckets of his cum. That I'm assuming is your way of saying I'd be celebrating that person, right?
Not celebrating, but I think
there'd be excited that I would be guzzling buckets of their cum.
I think that
I would let them jump off in my mouth because I'm so excited about what they did.
Stop it.
And I'm telling you, I've never done that.
Okay, what do you got there?
Okay, well, let me just, close my door again. Okay, my first problem with Seder is when he talks about the Skittles thing, for some reason Seder misinterprets Destiny's point as hyperbole, when the problem isn't hyperbole. It's basically implying that rioting and crime weren't a problem, weren't a significant problem, while Destiny's basically saying it is, and that it was such a significant problem that Kyle had to take actions into his own masses. Wait, actions into his own hands. No, matters into his own hands. That's what I was meant to say. Okay, and yeah,
well, in fairness, Kyle Rittenhouse was not the only person who was neither, police or EMS, who went to Kenosha, during the time of the Kenosha riots, to try to, put out fires, protect property, what have you, because they knew that they were rioting and they were burning the place to the ground. And I'm just going to call a spade there. That's what was going on. That's why it's called rioting for days. So, he wasn't the only one. So clearly, property could be part of it. And to Destiny's point, I do agree that there's also the very strong possibility that there was more to it than just property, because Kenosha, at one point, we actually looked, at Kenosha on a map as compared to, I forget the name of the town, but where Kyle Rittenhouse lived at the time, they were only about a 20-minute drive away. I believe his dad lived in Kenosha. I'm going to go on a limb here and say he probably spent a good time there. He probably had some connections to that community, and maybe that's what he was worried about. I don't know. But either way, the situation was nuts. There's no denying this. But to try to play this down, to the level of, oh, I'm scared that someone might steal some Skittles. I want to give Sam the benefit of the doubt on that one, because I don't think anywhere in this particular video, did he say that. So I can't confirm whether that is what he said while he was on his show or whatever. I don't know. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that's not necessarily what he said, but there's probably a reason that Destiny brought this up, to be fair. And I agree, downplaying this to such an extent is kind of absurd. What do you think, Theron?
Yeah, pretty much. I basically said the same thing. What did maybe apparently Sam was also complaining about guzzling buckets of cum, that was actual hyperbole, but maybe he Sam basically criticized Destiny for hyperbole, and basically said he was a hypocrite. But like Destiny wasn't criticizing Sam for hyperbole; he was like criticizing Sam by what he meant by what he was implying. And we all, and so yeah, like I guess I don't know. I guess like I don't know. Maybe Destiny. I don't know. Maybe should have said that like Sam would have double standards if like Kyle Rittenhouse was a different race. But yeah, let's continue on.
Okay.
I've never celebrated anybody killing anybody in any scenario whatsoever. I've been doing this for 18 years, 3 hours a day. If it was out there, you'd know it. So you're the one who's actually doing what you accused me of doing. I didn't do it. You and I have a different opinion as to why this guy went there. Okay, we'll never know. This is a guy who's a fan of John Doyle, who is also like a white nationalist.
Stop.
But.
Okay, yeah, okay. Now I think it's funny. I think this may have been the part where we had. I don't think this is the part where we stopped, but like, yeah, I think this is the funny part. I think I was actually telling you, about this, about like, how this is kind of funny and like. Wait, did you see the entire like Sam Seder Destiny debate?
I did watch this entire video. I don't know. I don't know if this is the whole of it or not. I kind of doubt it. But I did watch the whole of this, but that was quite a few weeks ago, if I recall correctly.
Oh wait.
So
I
haven't reviewed it. What?
Oh yeah, you did that as prep. Okay, I'm hoping you like forgot a bit about it because it'll be a like nice surprise for you. Yeah, like listen to like what Sam Seder claims John Doyle said. Because like try to listen very carefully. We can like replay it, but like it'll be fun. No, you don't need. Oh no. Sam Seder is trying to. Sam Seder is trying to quote John Doyle. He hasn't quoted him yet.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be take note. Just like maybe slow it down if you need to, like or whatever you need to like hear it properly.
Hold on.
I mean, you don't need to slow it down if you want. Like your choice. Like I've heard it before. Like your choice. I mean,
I'll leave it at normal for right now.
Yeah.
If I need to, I'll back it up and just play it again. Okay. So pay attention to this part. Got it.
Of John Doyle, who is also like a white nationalist. We know this, but.
Okay, he says we know this.
Yeah.
Do we know this?
He's said some stupid stuff, but considering he's like pretty much disavowed like Nick Fuentes, I really, really doubt it. But like, yeah, continue on. This is going to be interesting.
I still do not have any out there claiming I have some knowledge about his intent. I said he went down there to protect property, which is what he claimed he did. That is a very generous. I'm being perfectly, I'm letting him set the terms. He went down there with a gun and people got shot. I think it's a bad example for society. I think it sets a bad precedent. I'm surprised there isn't any type of civil action you could take on a wrongful death. I think it's vigilantism, regardless of who performs it, is wrong. And then I think using that to build your fame is fucking gross. And so I think the guy's an asshole. And so, that's all I've said on these videos. And you've gone on to say like that a hypothetical situation where I'd be so excited. I'd be.
Okay, I'm pretty sure like you and I, like others have like seen, maybe not only Sam, but like other progressives video, but we'll focus on Sam here. Like he's definitely implied like, white nationalist and racist, like, intentions. Like he hasn't like outright stated it, but he's definitely like, maybe he made like a joke about like how Kyle's racist, but if you with the train of thought that he's going through here, like if you press him on it, he'll just say, "Oh, it's just a joke," even though these people like are, I don't know, they when they see like a right winger or an anti-sjw making a joke, a bigoted joke, but still a joke, they'll assume that they have bigoted intent, which just. Yeah, it's just frankly, whatever. But like, what else?
Well,
yeah.
I I still do not understand why people to this day still, in any capacity, try to associate white nationalism with what happened in Kenosha. I still do not understand this.
People need a narrative. People need a narrative.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of propaganda, I suppose.
Yeah. Resume.
Yep.
Jizzling, sucking people's cum because of it.
I'm
And
not
it's
gonna
like,
lie, this
you're
is funny.
doing exactly what
Okay,
you
so
accuse straw man me
sure.
for doing.
Okay, so give me a second. Then. Okay, so I'm not destroying you. So these are quotes that I've written down from your video. So one was you said he killed 2 people with a gun because he killed people in the neighboring town, which is technically true in the same way that white people are becoming minority in the United States. But I wouldn't let a conservative get away with that latter statement because it's obvious what they're implying, same as the former of what you're implying. When you're implying that he's like traveling to some community that has no ties to. And you said as much in this conversation that you're like, well, I don't know why he would go down there, right? Not everybody lives in New York City. Like a 20-mile away town might be a place that you have close ties to.
Don't do that to me. I grew up in Worcester, Massachusetts. I've spent 15 years living in a rural area where my neighbors are cows.
Then how is it so inconceivable that a town like then how is it so inconceivable?
I know the majority of people I know own guns.
Sure, but then I don't understand how it's so inconceivable that somebody might have like a town that they closely identify with like 15, 20 miles away. I'm from Nebraska. Like that's not uncommon depending on how far east or west you live. Like, yeah, everybody goes to Omaha. Everybody goes to
go down and patrol without any training to go down there and patrol and do crowd control with a weapon.
If your community is burning and the police can't do anything, do you really think that that's that unbelievable of a response?
That you would go, that I would go down there with a gun?
Yeah.
So
okay, I'm gonna pause it real fast. Okay, I just want to say this. Anybody remember the rooftop Koreans from the riots in the 90s in California? I'm Darren, you there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've definitely heard of them. I think I can roughly say the story. Certain group of people rioted, certain hardworking Korean businesses
it's
that.
Basically by Sam's reasoning here, I guess they shouldn't have been there with guns to
Yeah, but the thing is with Sam, either. He'd probably say that because that would still fit the progressive narrative that you shouldn't attack rioters I think we need to use a different argument, but I actually no way this is a problem with some lefties because a lot of them are revolutionists. Sure, Sam said, I guess is a social democrat, but they're pretty buddy with the revolutionary socialists. If violence is happening, the socialists would say, defend your comrades. Violence is necessary. Punch Nazis, but yeah, and I think Sam would do the same. And I'm sure Republicans would also be just as unprincipled as these lefties. At one point they'll be law and order. Sure, there is injustice, but we need to preserve the system, and we need to be principled. But the second there's this whole stop the steal, the election is fraudulent, they're why should we support this system? We're the good guys. We need it's worth I don't know, it's worth, we can't trust the system. Some of them even rioted it in January 6th. These people aren't consistent. Sam Seder, the January 6th. Frankly,
it's one giant jumbled mess. But I just wanted to point out, I disagree with Sam's argument here because it seems like he's trying to make it make it seem unreasonable that a person would even want to protect property and or community, that they do not necessarily live in, but is near where they live, and they've spent a lot of time there. It's
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is
Now,
very, very bad form, Sam.
yeah.
Are you
Now
telling me that it's completely unreasonable, to think, hey, what if the kid, his parents broke up and got divorced when he was a little kid. Again, his dad lived in Kenosha. I don't know what the story there is, whereas he and his mom lived in the other town right across the way.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, whatever. So what? You telling me that because he doesn't live there, he never went there to spend time with his dad, and maybe, I don't know, spend a summer there or something? It's like, there's no way you can think that that's an unreasonable thing, an unreasonable conclusion for someone to come to, that they have two different places that they're attached to, and one of them is literally on fire. And hey, the cops seem to not be able to do anything about this. Maybe
wait, what do you
they
mean
could use my
on
help.
fire? What do you mean fire? It's mostly peaceful. Mikail,
Oh
it's
yeah,
mostly
yeah.
peaceful.
Fiery but mostly peaceful protests. No. No.
Yeah, but let's see. So
Like how does
yeah.
Sam think that this is an unreasonable conclusion for a person to come to? Now, I'll be the first to admit, I really don't think Kyle Rittenhouse should have been there. I don't think any of this should have happened.
Oh yeah, like to build up on that point, like I guess like one of the like most stronger points of both like Seder and like Destiny, they both agree on is that it may not have been a good idea that Kyle was like there, like from a logistics standpoint, from a safety standpoint. But like Destiny said that like this is in spite of the rioting, like he says like things could go worse for like Kyle or like overall, but Seder says that like that doesn't think like the like if like Destiny says that the writing would like like make while would make Kyle justified, but like maybe not smart or like tactical, but like Seder would say that the writing would not only not make Kyle not tactical or like smart in dealing with it, but also still not justified in trying to defend his community. That's a big difference. Like I'm pretty sure Seder like he thinks he holds his position, but once push comes to shove, he'll like when it happens to him or someone like he cares about, or like maybe a political like figure, he'll start to pretty much
Right.
yeah, he'll pretty much start to like change wind.
Okay. Well, let's continue.
For all of those people, then you would just say like, let it burn.
No, I'm not saying let it burn.
No. Hold on. You have to do one or the other. You can't. There is no fence sitting on this one. Yeah.
If he ran up to me and said the town is burning, should I go down there with my weapon? I would say no, man, don't.
Okay. And then you'd be willing to condemn any other community that wanted to protect their community if they thought it was being burned down? If white nationalists rolled into some
stop.
The Tulsa.
Okay, so like what says when Sam says no, man, that's not a good idea. I think that's like reasonable to say, but at the same time, you don't need to like condemn that person for like going into it. It may be a bad idea, but like he wasn't the initial aggressor. Like again, I think like this is the one of the few things that Sam has a like good point in this debate, but like that's about it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's fair to say, no, man, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, sure, I can grant you that, but you don't need to condemn or demonize the person, who decides, hey, I'm going to go anyways. You don't need to do that, which I think a lot of people in the legacy media especially But definitely a lot of people on the proverbial left, did over and over and over again. They demonized Kyle Rittenhouse, which is basically what this whole conversation is about.
Yeah.
Also, race riots, whatever, they wanted to roll down and burn everything down. You say like, well, you guys should just leave. You don't have any right to protect your community. Just go.
No, we wouldn't leave. Remember now, he's still traveling there. So, I'm not saying don't leave. I'm saying if somebody comes up to me, I don't care what race they are, and they say like, downtown is burning, I'm going to go down there with my gun and protect it. And I would be like, dude, you don't have any business doing that. You're just going to get yourself or somebody else killed. That's what I would say.
Okay. I mean, I guess that is.
We have a disagreement about whether or not we want to promote vigilantism with guns for people who are
I really don't like that word. Vigilantism. Yeah, I really don't like how he's using that word, because that has certain connotations and implications to it, which is not really the case with Kyle Rittenhouse. That's not really what happened here.
Yeah, he was by the books, like, pretty much by the law.
So yeah, that's not really vigilantism. So I don't understand why Sam keeps using that word, but nevertheless, continuing.
Trained in that situation. We have a disagreement. We have to.
It's not a matter of promotion. I think it's a matter of realizing that, like, if there are going to be community,
it's binary.
What?
So you either saying don't do it or you're saying do it. That's what you just told me.
I've always said don't do it. Even in the Rittenhouse case, I think going there was stupid. I've always said the same. But
you and I are in agreement.
No, we're not in agreement, because something being stupid isn't the same as something being morally wrong. I think anytime you're willing to like just die for a business or somebody else's business, it's probably not like the best decision. But to sit there and condemn the people that are watching their town being burned to the ground.
I'm not condemning anybody.
You're calling him a killer like 50 times. Of course you're condemning him.
I don't call him a killer. Why did I do that video?
Because you were trying to show how pathetic it was, that he was upset that his life was being ruined, because you're saying, well, it's because you killed people.
Because he was on.
Okay. I guess the video in question that Destiny just referred to, I guess I have not seen that particular video, so I can't really comment on that, simply because I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I certainly don't know enough to make an informed opinion, if that makes sense. But that being said, it does seem like it would be something interesting to look into. Because I'm kind of curious. Is like, okay, just how far down the demonized Kyle Rittenhouse rabbit hole are we gonna go here?
Ginning up publicity for himself on right-wing shows like Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson and whoever else he can find to have him on. And he is making a celebrity out of himself because he killed 2 people.
He's already a celebrity, though. What's he supposed to do? What was he going to do after that trial? You know that his life is forever altered. It's not like he can just step back into like the shadows and be a normal citizen. Like that dude's life is going to be changed completely for the rest of
that mistake that you and I agreed that he made, he is paying for.
No, hold on. That wasn't his mistake. There was only, maybe he shouldn't to even say that was a mistake. Hold on. I think it was dumb, but the reality is he had a right to be in that community. He had a right to show up with a firearm to protect himself if he wanted to, and he didn't kill anybody in defense of property. He killed people that attacked him aggressively without provocation first in every single instance, one of which was a person with a firearm.
When you say that, it makes it sound like he was helicoptered in and just dropped in that moment where people are attacking.
No, Sam. He's simply stating the facts.
Attacking him. He's going around with a gun. He's there because he's protecting property. But look, you can frame it in the way that you want to frame it. I'll frame it in the way that I want to frame it. You agree that nothing I'm saying is not factually correct, which is what you started out by saying. It's factually correct. It's not just that it's horse paste. I'm saying it's horse paste, and it's also in different doses for other diseases. Ivermectin is used. And you don't like the fact that I'm saying it technically because my emphasis is this guy made a shitty mistake that ended up in costing 2 people their lives, and he now is going out and monetizing it. It's fucking gross. And you and I can disagree on that, but nothing I'm saying is factually incorrect whatsoever.
It's
not
just
like my opinion, Stephen.
It's not just. Hold on, Sam. This is such a.
You pretended. You came up with a hypothetical, accusing me if it was a different race that I would be so ecstatic about it, I would be guzzling their buckets of cum.
If I said that George Floyd died after being arrested for trying to buy something with counterfeit money with fentanyl in his system, do you think that that's okay to say, even though factually everything I just said was correct? Or would you say, well, hold on, the framing here is a little bit dishonest? Because if you say that, you know what, that's fine, it's all factually correct, then I guess we agree on everything. That's fine. You can just say whatever you want, I guess. As long as you're picking the right facts and they don't happen to be incorrect.
That George Floyd had fentanyl in his system?
Yeah.
And that's why he died?
He died with fentanyl in his system. Could have been an OD, maybe. Don't know 100%.
I mean, I think we can know the coroner's report.
You know the coroner's report, but we don't know 100% how much fentanyl contributed to him dying. We know that he got arrested there because I think he was trying to buy some of the counterfeit money.
We know what the but-for was, right? The but-for was the knee on his neck. But yes, he did have fentanyl in his system. I don't think that's a reason to die, to be killed.
Sure, I'm not saying it's a reason to be killed. But if I were to only report on those types of facts, which a lot of conservatives did, even though it's all factually correct, I still think you'd have an issue with the framing. Much the same that I have an issue with your framing when you're saying he went to go and protect stores because somebody might steal some Skittles, and he killed 2 people with his gun to protect some stores. They weren't just Skittles that were on fire that night, and he didn't kill people protecting stores. He killed people that tried to kill him.
I mean, the minutia in which you're taking issue with, like my issue with someone saying that George Floyd, had fentanyl in his blood to the extent that I take issue with that, has to do with their intent. And their intent in that is to underplay the idea of police brutality and the way that Black people are policed in this country. True. Your issue with my intent is that I'm not giving a fair enough shake to a guy who killed 2 people in self-defense because he was in a place, because he made an incredibly stupid decision, because he wanted to protect property, and he's going out and monetizing it. I am perfectly willing to accept that I am framing it in a way that makes that point.
He's monetizing it because he has nothing else.
Going out and monetizing.
No other way to survive. His very limited means to survive.
He's monetizing this because, as Destiny pointed out, whether obviously Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted on all charges. You can decide for yourself whether that means he's innocent or just not guilty. You decide. I don't care. But the fact is, this got so much national publicity, which Destiny brought up, and a lot of it very, very negative, I might add. Especially Rittenhouse himself. He was completely demonized on national television day after day after day after day, week after week after week after week, month after month after month, unto the point that some people to this day believe he's a murdering monster. And when I say some, I mean quite a few. It's a significant number. But
even
the fact is, his life is permanently altered by this.
Mm-hmm.
There is no 2 ways about that. There's simply not. His life is permanently altered. I would bet you dollars to donuts there's hardly a university that is there to be found of any any note, any repute that he can go to go to school, to gain an education, to try and pursue a career, a decent career, I suppose, maybe you'd call it. I don't know. I doubt there's a single university he could go to that's of any note in this country where someone there is not going to instantaneously recognize him and, treat him like a monster. I doubt it. And then there's another point, even if he does, go to college or trade school or whatever, and goes to try and pursue a career, everyone knows him. Everyone knows his story. Some people are okay with it. Some people are not.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to judge him that way, whether it's fair, whether it's right, whether it's logical or not. It doesn't matter. People are going to do this, and that is, something that I just cannot get why Sam doesn't. Why Sam is downplaying this? Like, why? Like, I get it. You're upset that he did something that you think is stupid, and a couple people died. They died because they tried to kill him. He was defending himself.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
I don't know. What are your thoughts, dude?
Again, you pretty much like summed it up. Let's continue with I'm trying to like remember what
and that I'm framing it in that way to make that clear to people, because I want to discourage anybody, regardless of what their race is or what their ideology is, picking up a weapon and deciding they're going to play, sheriff or whatever it is, protector of the car lot.
Sure. And I guess my issue is I feel like do you agree that the riots were like destroying Kenosha? Because I would say that you were downplaying that when you say things like somebody might show up and steal some Skittles.
Do I agree that the riots were destroying Kenosha? I don't. I mean, they were definitely causing damage. Do I know that they were destroying Kenosha? But I will stipulate, for the sake of this argument, they were destroying Kenosha.
Okay. Do you agree that
full stop,
right to be there?
Wait, stop. Yeah, even if they weren't physically destroying Kenosha, like rioting is really bad, like for local economies, like.
Oh, absolutely.
It
wrecks local economies.
Yeah, let's see. So other than destroying the businesses, like it pretty much makes it a lot more risky for insurance companies, like especially to pay like that high level insurance. And people say businesses will be fine, they are insured. The problem with that is not all businesses are insured, and of the businesses that are insured, there's an insurance limit. Like if say the insurance damages were 50,000, but you only have a 40,000 insurance damage, then you're not covered for $10,000 dollars in damages.
Yes.
And another big problem is the higher the greater rising leads to higher insurance rates for higher future insurance rates, and number two, rising leads to uncertainty. And
and lower future investment rates in that area.
Yeah, exactly.
People are less willing to build businesses in a place that is known for riots.
Yeah, that's actually an argument for why there's heavy racial disparities in Black communities, and declining it's other than the rioting, there's also the crime rates, which help discourage business investment. This would actually be might lead to a debate between us on whether or not the police is necessary, between an ANCAP and maybe a libertarian.
It could be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Now, all that I ask, if that ever happens, hey, let's all just remember we're all friends and it's still cool
of
at the end of the day.
Yeah, we've debated before and we were fine. So continue on.
Yes, let's keep going.
As Rittenhouse himself?
I think everybody who's there has a right to be there. I think if you bring a gun to a protest, you're an asshole.
Okay, so the third guy that got shot, maimed, as you say so many times, that guy's an asshole too, right? Because he.
Sure.
Okay.
But you know what? You don't deserve to be shot because you're an asshole. I wasn't saying.
Hold on. He didn't get shot because he was an asshole. He was shot because he ran up to Rittenhouse and he brandished a firearm.
I'm saying being an asshole is no mitigation in terms of how wrong it is to be shot. And so I don't think Rittenhouse should have been shot either.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I guess.
I mean, I told you this would be a short conversation because we just have a fundamental disagreement as to whether his actions.
Short conversation, this whole Rittenhouse thing is 40 effing minutes.
My ass, we're almost at 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, at least the thing is we're nearly finished with the Rittenhouse thing. The rest of it is basically I forgot the name. It starts with C's. I'm thinking capital control. What,
or something like that. Yeah.
Let's see corporations have speech like Citizens United. That's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Citizens
Yeah,
United
like
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're not like going to cover that since we haven't like looked into it. Like, but there are two decent guys that have looked into it, like Stephen Michael Davis and Actual Justice Warrior.
Yeah,
I suggest you recommend them.
Davis, aka Scuba Steve, he's looked into this. I have not seen Actual Justice Warrior's take on this yet. So that being said, it's not something that I am uber familiar with. So yeah, I would prefer to stay away from the Citizens United topic and just stick to the Rittenhouse portion of this. But again, short conversation, my ass, Sam. We're almost at 45 minutes.
Yeah, and I like Stephen, and like Citizens United is one of his videos that like he's one of the few people online that knows a lot about, but like even I don't know that much. I only seen his videos, but I haven't like researched it myself. And like
would you mind sending me some of his videos here later today, just so I can review them? Because I honestly am not all that familiar with his content. I'm kind of sad to admit it, but I'm not.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll send you some decent ones. Like although you might be like maybe disappointed with a few because he's more interventionist when it comes to foreign policy. But like
okay.
But
still be worth looking at.
Yeah, I'll definitely like send you a bunch. Oh yeah, speaking of Stephen Michael Davis, I basically was on a stream with him on like a Tuesday actually.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
okay.
like yeah,
I did not know that.
And the funny thing is, I was on a stream with Kevin Castley.
Oh God!
Oh, no. And you know what was funny? Like, I was basically just making a point where I was basically like saying the Iraq war was bad. You can't like trust the government, forgetting that Kevin Castley was for the Iraq war and also one of the strictest interventions. I forgot, and then like the two other people were like, oh, they were like, oh lol, like Stephen was like, oh lol, and I was like, oh okay. And now I realized, yeah, we did have a bit of a talk, but like he said he was okay with me like coming on. I even actually talked about you as the ANCAP, like, and he said he's debated a few ANCAPs. Yeah, but I like. 2/3 of the way through, I had to leave because it was like really late at night. For some reason, right. Stephen was like, streaming like really late, and which was funny because like,
yeah, please send me a link to this stream. Yeah, please. I want to see this.
Yeah, it's Stephen Michael Davis's latest stream, but yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah. Also, like what I was actually, because I was in Canada, I was thinking this was one of the few times I could like stream with him because I didn't want to like badger him like to schedule a time because he was like he's usually busy, and I'm not sure if due to the different time zones and him being busy at work, like I'd be able to come on like to a stream with him, but yeah, but then he like did a stream at like 1 a.m. I had to stay up. But yeah, I managed to like.
Such is the nature of streams, I suppose.
Yeah, but yeah, we're nearly like finished with this, but like let's resume like.
Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this. And like I said, I personally would prefer to avoid the Citizens United portion of the discussion, just because it's not something I'm all that familiar with. I would need to do more research.
And I would say that like you're still on this thing, and I'm reacting to the fact that he's out there monetizing it. And I can't imagine for a moment that you could justify him going out and monetizing it.
Well, it's not so much justifying as much. It's just this thing will happen over and over again, where one side of the media, the right or the left, will massively come out and just totally shit on some dude, and then 2 weeks later, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he ran to the other side." Like the Rittenhouse stuff on day one
and
with
the other side. Well, if you're so adept at rural areas, you tell me what side he was on.
Well, he just seemed like a kid that liked his community. He just seemed like a normal dude. That's what he looked like. Every video.
You tell me, you know so much about rural areas. You tell me what side this kid who's 17, who's got this weapon, what side is he on?
I don't think being 17 with an AR. Hold on, wait. What do you mean? What side? He's an American citizen that has a gun that lives in a rural area. Yeah, he's probably conservative, but he's not a white nationalist. He's not like a crazy, bloodthirsty, anti-civil rights, murdering, crazy dude. Like he's just a kid with a.
John Doyle. What do you think about that? I don't know that much about John Doyle, but everything I've read isn't terribly good. What do you think about that?
I don't know. When you say
John Doyle because
wait, does he talk about like John Doyle?
Why didn't he like somebody else?
I don't know. Sorry, hold up. What?
Wait, does he talk about John Doyle?
Hmm?
Does he talk about John Doyle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So wait, does he mention like a quote like from John? Like
Well, Sam said he doesn't know a whole lot about him. No, that's what I caught just now. Here, let me back that up real fast. We'll just do that. Let's see. Hold on.
a crazy, bloodthirsty, anti-civil rights, murdering, crazy dude. Like,
okay, I think this is where we get into John Doyle for a second.
he's just a kid with a.
John Doyle. What do you think about that? I don't know that much about John Doyle, but everything I've read isn't terribly good. What do you think about that?
I don't know when you say
John Doyle because the media was mean to him. Why didn't he like somebody else?
I don't know.
John Doyle is virulent.
This, I mean, like, this sounds like when my mom says that, like, oh, Obama is a terrorist because he was friends with Bill Ayers when he was younger, and Bill Ayers is part of the Weather Underground. I don't know what a 17-year-old's interest is in John Doyle. I do know that people went through all of his social media and every account he's ever posted on, didn't find anything racist, didn't find anything horrible, didn't find any anti-BLM. I'm pretty sure they found pro-BLM stuff on his shit. Maybe he's really good at hiding it. He just knew he was going to blow up into international coverage, so he managed to scrub all of it. But what is this John Doyle thing? What is the tie to Rittenhouse and John Doyle? Can you tell me? Like, how are you so convinced that he's so bought into, like, whatever white nationalists or crazy stuff that John Doyle guy is presenting?
You hear this audio?
No, I don't. What is the audio? And also, wait, is this pre or post shooting?
This is him on some Blaze show saying how much he loves John Doyle, and then John Doyle coming out and giving him a hug.
Okay, so this is post shooting. Post shooting, it wouldn't surprise me if this guy became friends with every right-leaning person in the world because of the reason that I literally just gave. If you're going to be cast as a villain on one side, of course you're going to look to.
Not just right-leaning. I mean, this guy. Guard and protect your local church. Guard and protect your local pregnancy. Call them in advance. Bring rifles and men with you, or we can just keep talking, whichever you'd like. That's a quote from John Doyle.
Okay, full stop. Like, did you hear that quote?
Yes, I heard the quote.
Yeah, play it one more time just to, like, you know.
Yeah. Hold on. We are at 46:58, so it wasn't very long. I'll just back it up there. There we go.
As a villain on one side, of course
John
you're going to look
Doyle's
to.
not just right-leaning. I mean, this guy. Guard and protect your local church. Guard and protect your local pregnancy. Call them in advance. Bring rifles and men with you, or we can just keep talking, whichever you'd like. That's a quote from John Doyle.
Wait, what was necessarily?
Okay, that was the quote, right?
Yeah, and what did the quote say?
Okay. Guard your church, guard your pregnancy centers. You can bring dudes with rifles, or we can just keep talking, is what he's saying, it says.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see the quote, so I don't know if that is entirely accurate or not, but there you go. That's what I heard. Is that correct?
Wait, what?
Okay, he quoted, or kind of quoted, John Doyle is saying, you know, guard and protect your local churches, your local pregnancy centers. You can bring guys with rifles, or we can keep talking. That's the quote that he's attributing to John Doyle. Is that correct? Did I hear that correctly?
I don't think you heard it. It said, like, keep talking. Wait, did you hear the part about defending churches and pregnancy centers?
Yeah. Hang on. Well, we'll do this again. There. Here, hold on.
The reason that I literally just gave. If you're going to be cast as a villain on one side, of course
John
you're going to look
Doyle's
to.
not just right-leaning. I mean, this guy. Guard and protect your local church. Guard and protect your local pregnancy. Call them in advance. Bring rifles and men with you, or we can just keep talking, whichever you'd like. That's a quote from John Doyle.
There you go. There's the quote.
Yeah, that he been that might now that like quote might like sound a little like like maybe that Doyle is overreacting, but that's a call for defending like maybe like he's like overblowing it, and that might be a problem. But that sounds more like him being worried than him being an extremist. Like,
yes, if anything, it sounds more like just wanting to safeguard. It sounds like wanting to safeguard, certain places that I guess John Doyle thinks is important. Which, okay, I'm not seeing how this is necessarily a bad thing. So I don't see the real point that Sam is getting at here. What am I missing here?
Oh, he's going to say for some reason, then you're going to be quite shocked.
Okay. And let's continue.
Wait, what was necessarily wrong with that quote?
He's threatening pregnancy centers with guns.
Oh, wait, what was I heard churches in the beginning. Can you read that quote to me again? Wait, hold on. And wait, is this a quote just recently over the Roe v. Wade thing? When did
full stop? Like, what did John Doyle say about the pregnancy centers? Like from the quote.
From the quote, guard them.
Yeah, guard them. And what did Sam claim that like John Doyle said about the pregnancy centers?
He's claiming that he wants to bring guys with guns there to attack them, I guess.
Yes. And the thing is, this isn't like from a quote that we're reading. This is from Sam's own words that he read.
That is funny.
Okay, here's what I like about Sam. Even though I hate him, he does give context. Like, he doesn't seem to understand his own context that he gives, but he gives his own context, which is funny because I've actually been like looking at like another video, like one that I'm trying to post for like my Sam Seder fails subreddit. And
Sam Seder
it's
fails.
one where he like misrepresents like Dennis Prager, which
Dude,
is
hook me up with a link to that. I've never really been on Reddit. I'm not really familiar with it, but I got to see this. This is great. Sam Seder fails.
I'll actually fudge. I should have sent this subreddit in the comments, but also send it in the private chat because why not? If you guys want to
I heard that quote correctly, and then I heard what he just said correctly, and I'm understanding this correctly. Sam, you just got that backwards.
You could Sam Seder can ask himself from like a minute ago what he said he also provided the context for Dennis Prager, but he basically saying, and then Seder is claiming the opposite, even though you could tell that Prager was choosing his words carefully, and you could clearly hear what he meant, but you have to give Sam Seder credit for giving context that basically debunks him in his own video. That's a trend. But what's annoying about Prager is you may have heard of this. He actually basically did a chickening out of a debate from Sam, where this is kind of similar to it's a smaller version of the Stephen Crowder thing, where basically one caller calls Dennis Prager, and Sam Seder is on the other line of the other caller, and then Seder says hi Dennis, and then basically Prager just shuts down the call instantly, and just complains about Seder, which I have very little respect, because you remember a few weeks ago when Dennis Prager said no one on the left wants to debate, we keep on trying to find, but they keep on rejecting, and I agree that's a problem on the left. But from the people that are willing to debate, accept their debate requests, since we have so few to debate apparently. Because Seder's been
yes, it would definitely make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. which is funny because I do think like Sam Seder would for the most part beat Dennis Prager in a debate, which is so funny because like Seder has like what was really stupid on I shall show you this video because let's see, so send I was maybe we could react if we have enough time. We could react it together, although I'm not sure if we do have enough time now. But let's see. I'm trying to find like maybe a third comment. Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'll. Right. Yeah. Okay. Like continue on.
Okay.
Yeah. This is well. I don't know.
Well, I mean, isn't that kind of important? Because if you're showing me John Doyle quotes from a few weeks ago relating to Roe v. Wade and Rittenhouse,
John Doyle been making quotes like this. I think. I mean, all right, fine. People can go search. Maybe John Doyle is not a self-described.
Sure. He might be a Christian fascist nationalist. He might be. I've heard that before. I don't know. I'm just saying that like it wouldn't.
No more than I do about.
Sure. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me that with the massive condemnation and villainization of the left, that Rittenhouse is probably going to look to whoever is going to accept on the right and then connect with whatever media entities or people are going to be connected via that. That's not surprising. But I don't think that you can blame him for that if we're constantly casting him as a villain. That's just going to be, he's 17, 18 years old.
Again, the last time Kyle Rittenhouse is the only time Kyle, after the verdict, I think I did a video saying, this is a damn shame. Because we want to discourage people from picking up guns and going down and, meeting protests with guns. I'm against that. I'm against that. I am blanket against that. And then the next time I talk about Kyle Rittenhouse is just because he's doing this tour. So it's not my fault. Now, listen, Christy Todd Whitman once told me that the reason why the conservatives don't buy into climate change is because the liberals are so uptight about it. I mean, if this guy is going to go and go out and monetize and become a celebrity because of this stuff, I'm sorry. I think he's an asshole. There's really not much else to talk about.
Look, I think Republicans and conservatives do have in the US and maybe Australia do have a problem with climate change denial, and lefties being annoyingly uptight shouldn't be an excuse to just deny climate change wholesale. We need conservatives should have some personal responsibility, but Kyle Rittenhouse is one person with a whole media onslaught being applied to him, and the only guys that are willing to help him are the right wing and I guess Destiny. Actually, maybe Kyle Rittenhouse should communicate more with Destiny, help moderate him, help him be on a better path. Destiny, I feel like Destiny may be the key. I'm basically at this point a Destiny cuck. I think I'm one of the few people that Ben Shapiro and Destiny, even though Destiny hates Ben Shapiro. But yeah.
To tell the truth, I'm not all that familiar with Destiny's works and discussions here in the past. I'm really not.
Yeah.
So I can't make a judgment call one way or the other there, but he did have an interesting conversation here, and he definitely made some good points. As far as Kyle Rittenhouse goes, I mean, I really don't, I don't get it, Sam. Where's all of this moral indignation coming from? People like you and people pretty much 95% of the entire left, lamestream legacy media, as well as various people on the proverbial left in missing link media and alt media, they demonize this kid for over a year for everyone to see and yeah, his life is completely changed. But he knows that you guys are not his friends. So you're surprised that he is going to the people who actually will give him, at least let him say his piece without, making him into a monster. You're surprised by this? Like, I don't get it, dude. How can you be surprised by that? And you seem to be Sam seems to be upset that he's, making money, I guess. Well, okay. You make money doing what you do. I don't necessarily agree with you either. So what are you talking about?
Resume.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
But while we're here, because some other people sent me some stuff.
Go for it. Yeah.
Citizens United.
Here we go.
You've done.
This is where it ends. Yeah, maybe we could watch maybe 1.5 minutes of that lost part, but just for fun. But this just be entertainment value. But
give me just a second. Did you send me the link via Twitter?
Oh, did I send it to you? But I sent it to you by the private chat. But let me check if I sent it to you. Oh no, that's the Sam Seder video. But you mean you're talking about the Sam Seder subreddit, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, I was talking about the video you wanted to review. Wait.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, the Dennis Prager one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sending you so many. I'm sending you so many stuff, man.
No worries, man.
Oh, actually, I sent you you know what? Why not send you? I'll send it to you everywhere. The private chat, the Twitter DMs, a ton of stuff.
Okay. Sam Seder misrepresents Dennis Prager on marital advice.
Yeah, that's my subreddit post about that
That's
video.
the subreddit post. Okay, cool. Dennis Prager's poor wife. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, give me this.
Dennis Prager apparently is trying to.
This was my choice clip of the day. Thank you for
Subtle.
picking it out.
Please go ahead.
Well, no, I mean,
introduce it.
Dennis Prager wants you to know about his sex life and his preferences that are a little rapey, as they say.
And basically what I said was this: given how important sex is to most men, it is, if you love your husband, and I said that, and he treats you well, don't always allow mood to determine whether you will sleep with him. Because mood,
okay,
it's not only fair enough, the number of couples who have told me that it has so helped their marriage is innumerable. That was it. I didn't say if you look like Frankenstein,
it's probably innumerable.
Sleep with your husband. All I said was, in general, don't let feelings be the only determinant of your behavior. That was the radical nature of what I wrote.
Well, we know how radical the left gets on feelings versus facts these days.
It is.
Fucks don't. Can I just go real quick? Fucks don't care about your feelings.
That was amazing. Yeah, it's what should motivate you to have sex with your husband then? Just it's because it's your marital duty?
No, how well he treats you.
Oh, right.
What kind of allowance he gives you?
Yes.
Does he let you?
Okay, so you heard Dennis Prager, right?
Yes, I heard what he said.
Okay, and what did he say? Just to be sure we're on the same page.
Okay. He was talking about a discussion that he had, I'm guessing with some woman, but I couldn't tell for sure. But either way, what he said is, if you love your husband, don't let feelings determine whether or not you sleep with him.
Whether or not you're in the mood,
yeah. Don't let mood be the only determinant.
Yeah, and also that you shouldn't refuse intercourse
sex.
like all the time when you are not in the mood. Like you can sometimes when you're not in the mood, but like his argument basically, like, it's a loving thing to do. Like at sometimes when you want to, like, have sex with your like husband, like, when you're not in the mood, which and this is true like vice versa with like husband and wife, and like the like numbskulls and the majority report basically interpreted this as at all times, at all moods, like the woman should like give it away to like the husband, like no matter what, whenever he asks, and that is a significant straw man because like
that's not what he said, but I can try to sympathize with him on that one, because it does sound a little odd, especially to those that are easily shall we say emotionally manipulated and aren't paying attention. So yeah, I can try to sympathize with them on that. I can understand how they might get that out of it, but that's not actually what he said. That's a straw man argument. What he said is that you should not always let mood be the only determining factor. That's what he said. Am I wrong?
Mood. Yeah, not let mood be the only determinant factor, basically.
Yeah, that's what he said. Whereas they seem to be taking this a little differently, which, okay, again, I can try to understand how you came to that conclusion, but yeah, that's not what you're saying that he said is not actually what he said.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Here we go.
Go to, Neiman Marcus.
Right.
And if he does, then you should give him sex.
It is
I mean, I think that's right. I mean, is that not the
I mean, this is like, I feel like the premise of a more raunchy I Love Lucy plot, but yeah, it's like all about, if she'll be a good wife if Desi gives her a little bit more of an allowance. And I think I learned a little too much about Dennis Prager's sex life. A little bit there. He goes on TV to rant about, hey,
now,
I don't need to make my wife feel nice or feel good. I expect that she has sex with me just because it's her duty.
Do you think
this is a bigger, like, more noticeable straw man, like, from...
That's not even close to what he said, lady. Miss Emma, I'm probably mispronouncing this, Vigeland? Is that how you pronounce that?
Vigeland. Like
Vigeland.
Like he used, like, I've even like, said this in, like, my post. Apparently my things got like 13 like views, but like how it is, like no uploads. But anyway, he basically said, like, he said don't always allow mood to determine whether you will sleep with them, and said don't let feelings be the only determinant. He was very he uses words like very clearly, because he knew that, like, if he wasn't careful, he would be like easily misinterpreted. He's being like misinterpreted and strawman now, but he knew that, because, like, of course, like, if it wasn't clear, it's understandable why people might think this, why you might get the wrong like intention. So I understand like why it had to be clear. I understand why a few people can get like confused, or like I think it was rape, but like Sam's more of an intelligent guy, so this is pretty disappointing, like, on his part. But there is like I'm thinking of, like, I don't know, with like the Dennis Prager, like, denying a debate to Sam Seder, and like there's also this problem with like the heartbeat bill that, like, this a few, like, I think Senate representatives in South Korea like messed up on. Maybe I'll send you it. Like, I'm thinking of creating a like video called "When the Right Messes Up," like, of those two events so far, and I don't know, like, me just criticizing my own side, like, because I don't usually make a video. I might like say it in streams or like Twitter, but that doesn't cost me much. Like, me editing and like me scripting, that will show truly whether or not like you know, a lot more like I've like more like willing to like, you know, well, you know, because like it takes a lot of effort for me to do videos. I was
Yes,
actually
it takes a bit more time and labor, you know, in order to put together, you know, an actual edited video as opposed to simply going live and just having a discussion. That's a little bit easier. Yeah, is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, but also yeah, it's much easier to like stick to your principles when there's very little like effort or stake required. Um, but also like there was this one like anti-right wing video called "Conservatives Don't Get Monopolies," but like the guy was mainly responding to you know, the PragerU guy, Will something, like he basically made a stupid argument about like social media regulation and how like Yahoo, I mean that you know, Google like couldn't like beat by social media regulation, or maybe like but then they, I don't know, Yahoo, Google beat Yahoo, which that before was like the monopoly. So I would have used that as an like argument, but I think I waited too late because I think he like deleted the video. So like, I mean, like, I don't know if like there's another video like on of a conservative like on social media monopolies making an equally stupid point, because uh, I was also going to contrast that with like, you know, Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire creating their own like, you know, media companies to like combat like the left's increasing like monopoly on like media, but they're saying basically that more you know, proving of Ben Shapiro, but like yeah, I think like we basically pretty much made our point with like this, you know, Sam Seder like video. After that, he just talks about like, you know, 50 years ago how women like couldn't like, you know, open their own bank account, or like apparently there's a law like where women like where husbands were allowed to like rape their wives or something in the US. It was still like legal back then. But regardless, like I'm not sure if I want to do a response to these videos, because I know like when I do response to like big guys like these, like that they comes like a whole barrage of like his like followers, and when that happens, I usually want to like, you know, be backed up by like a bunch of like data or like sources or something, and like this doesn't require much like source. I want like and no, just at least my other video, which was like rated by the Sam Seder fans, at least I had like sources to back up. I couldn't use them to defend myself, since their main problem was like they couldn't hear me.
Yeah. The audio on your last video that I saw was a little, so yeah,
thank you for playing how bad the audio was, but yeah, it was pretty bad. Like I thought they were able to hear it, but that's only because I was editing it, so I obviously had a bias already, just like because I heard it so much that I could recognize it a bit more than others. But then when I heard it like a second or third time later, just like, wow, how were some people even able to hear this? Like, and yeah, that's why I'm hopefully releasing it like tomorrow, like 12 p.m. for you, 5 p.m. for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess like, you know, but we're finished now. There is something I want to talk to you about, but like I guess like yeah, we're done. Like yeah, thanks for like taking the time to like watch us, guys. Thank you, Mikail, for like coming on, like, and you know, watching like you know, even like this like Sam Destiny's exchange with Sam Seder. If you want to check out,
absolutely, my pleasure.
Yeah, if you want to check out Mikail, like he has his own you know, Twitter and YouTube channel. Like do you want like both of those like links there? Like I know, and yeah, I'll put it in the comments. Okay, and yeah, was okay, Mikail. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
follow
my
them.
main is at stray cat at stray underscore cat underscore n, and my alt is not Mikail the cat.
Although be careful, like with some of his content, like, well, he doesn't have that much content, but of the content he does, let's see, like, basically like some expect like over sexualized content, because like the last tweet you did just, I don't know, I pretty much like even though I don't know, it depends on like what the fight the new drug, like apparently they're against, I think they might be against like legalization. I'm for it, but like I don't know, like I don't know, I don't want to see that image.
You're talking about
Yeah, the
the
FTND.
stop the stop the new drug type those guys who are saying stop watching porn. Nope, not gonna happen.
Well, I would
But it
still
is what it
suggest,
is.
yeah, even though I will not use the power of the government to force you to not watch porn, I would still advise you not watch porn anyway.
And that's okay. I am okay with this.
Okay, I need to like, yeah, all right, anyway, yeah, like thanks for watching. Also, like, feel free to check out my Sam Seder like subreddit, and like my Sam Seder like video is coming tomorrow, is hopefully going to be released tomorrow. It's an edited version, and
Nice.
yeah, and also yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.
Live free or die trying.
Yeah.